If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get alerts when we introduce new videos.
Welcome to the demonstration series for the RUCKUS Analytics Cloud Service for Network Intelligence and Service Assurance. The videos in this series will describe the various views, services, and capabilities of the RUCKUS Analytics platform. In this video, I'll describe the data presented in the Inventory Switches Report dashboard. So let's get started. Here I am logged into RUCKUS Analytics. You access the Inventory Switches Report dashboard by navigating to and expanding Report on the left side pane. Then click on the Switches link. This will open the Inventory Switches Report dashboard. The Inventory Switches Report provides details on switch inventory, including switch models and software versions that are being used the most. Let's start at the top of the page. As with most reports, there's a time selection field, which allows you to determine the time span of the data presented in the report. Next to that is the filter selection field that allows you to select which devices to include in the report. These fields are covered in detail in a separate presentation of this video series. Now let's look at the various tiles available in this report. At the top is the Overview tile. It provides a general overview of the entire switch network based on your selection of switches and the date range filters. This overview displays the total number of switches and how many are online and offline, the total number of switch units, and the total number of ports and how many are up or down. Below that is the Switch Count Trend tile. It contains a graph displaying the trend of total switches, total switch units, online status, and offline status over the specified time intervals. This graph contains a drop-down allowing you to specify the granularity of the data from each 15 minutes up to each week. Within the graph, you can select or deselect the total switches, total switch units, as well as total online and offline switches. And passing your mouse over any plot point will display a pop-up box detailing the number of switches with each selected status at that time interval. Next, we have the Top Switch Software Versions tile. It displays the most used switch software versions in your network and shows the number of switches using each version. This tile contains a donut chart and a graph. The passing of your mouse over a software version in the donut shows the total number of switches running each software version. The graph allows adjustment of granularity and the selection or deselection of software versions. The table view displays the same data in a table format with a gear icon to modify columns, and there's a drop-down to change the number of software versions to list. Next, we have the Top Switch Models tile. It contains a donut chart and a graph as well. Passing your mouse over the donut shows the total number of each switch model. Again, on the graph, you can specify the granularity of the data from each 15 minutes up to each week. Within the graph, you can select or deselect which switch models are plotted. Clicking the Table View button displays the same data in a table format. The gear icon is here, allowing you to select or deselect columns. The top 10 switch models are displayed by default, but that can be changed by selecting a different number in the drop-down. Next, we have the Port Status Trends tile. It displays the various statuses of switch ports in your network. When you pass your mouse over a status in the donut chart, the total number of switch ports with that status is displayed. Like the previous graphs, you can specify the granularity of the data from each 15 minutes up to each week. Within the graph, you can select or deselect which statuses are plotted, and the colors in the graph correspond to the colors in the donut chart. As with most reports in RUCKUS Analytics, this report can be exported to a comma-separated CSV file or to a PDF. Selecting the CSV option contains all the raw data that populates each of the tables, graphs, and data points combined into a single zip file. The PDF export output looks very similar to the screen you're viewing now, with each of the current tiles, graphs, and tables displayed in the same graphical format. So this completes the presentation describing the RUCKUS Analytics Inventory Switches Report dashboard. I hope you found this information useful and hope you return for more of the presentations in this RUCKUS Analytics series. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation.